Russian tank is engulfed in flames after a Ukrainian strike hit the vehicle. The video captured by the Ukrainian army shows an apparently unscathed tank isolated in the front line, until a Ukrainian strike sets it on fire. The explosion leaves a large plume of smoke over the Kherson region where the attack happened. The strike was reportedly launched by a Ukrainian T-64BV MBT tank on a Russian T-72B3 tank during counterattack operations near the village of Novoalexandrivka in Kherson province, one of the 4 Ukrainian regions annexed by Putin. In his speech, the Russian president threatened to use of all Russia's means to protect the 4 regions, including Kherson. But a recent string of Ukrainian offensives in the regions show the Ukrainians' resolve to retake the Russian-controlled territories. Ukraine President Zelensky reported that 6 settlements were liberated in the Kherson district, while 61 were recaptured in the region's district of Berislav. In total, the Ukrainian military has liberated more than 926 square miles of territory in the south since the beginning of the full-scale war, President Zelensky said in his nightly address. Hundreds of thousands of Russian conscripts, mostly military-aged men, have fled the country to escape Putin's partial mobilization amid the swift Ukrainian counterattacks. Though the precise number is difficult to pinpoint, Forbes reported on October 4 as many as 700,000 draftees have left Russia, citing a Kremlin source. The Kremlin has since denied the media report, with spokesperson Dmitry Peskov claiming, "I don't have exact figures, but of course they are far from what's being claimed there. I don't think those numbers should be taken seriously," he told reporters. According to Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, 2/3 of the 300,000 men enlisted have been drafted so far. Russians have reportedly fled en masse for neighboring Kazakhstan, which shares the world's second-longest land border with Russia. Russians can enter without a passport or a visa. The Kazakh Interior Minister reported that more than 200,000 Russians had entered since September 21, while about 147,000 left in the same period. The Interior Ministry of Georgia, where Russians can also enter without a visa, said 68,887 Russians had arrived from September 21 to 29. In another blow to Putin's mobilization order, reports and videos have emerged showing soldiers refusing to take up arms over the lack of resources and appalling war conditions on the front line. Up to 15,000 Russian troops could be forced to surrender as their defense lines are collapsing one by one. Ed Arnold, Royal United Services Institute Research Fellow. Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov has urged Russia's frontline troops to lay down their arms and promised life, safety and justice to those who do. "Your paratroopers are now dying on the right bank of the Dnipro," he said. "You pay in blood for someone's fantasies and false goals." Meanwhile, Lieutenant General Igor Konashenkov of the Russian Defense Ministry confirmed Russian soldiers were in full retreat just hours after Putin declared the Kherson region had been annexed by Russia. Solovyov said, "We ourselves understand that things are tough in the Kherson area that, yes, we managed to avoid encirclement and the dissection of our forces. They're buoyed by how easy it was for them in Kharkiv region and how quickly Lyman fell into their hands, and now in Kherson region. They think the momentum's with them and not with us, and that they can wipe their feet on us." Admitting his concern at Ukraine's rapid progress in regaining Kharkiv, the country's second city, Solovyov added, "There hasn't been a single operation after Kharkiv that would alleviate this bitterness, nor have there been any returned or added territories." Speaking this evening, a Russian-installed official in Ukraine suggested President Vladimir Putin's defense minister should consider killing himself due to the shame of the defeats in the Ukraine war in an astonishing public insult to Russia's top brass. In a 4-minute video message, Kirill Stremisov, the Russian-installed deputy head of the annexed Kherson region, lambasted the generals and ministers in Moscow for failing to understand the problems on the front. The Ministry of Defense does not consist only of ministers, generals, corrupt looters and other various scum, but all those heroes who gave their lives to defend Russia. Let's say this. The Ministry of Defense does not only consist of ministers, generals, corrupt marauders and other various scum, but all those heroes who gave their lives today, who stand to the end. Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov and Yevgeny Prigozhin, founder of the Wagner Group of mercenaries, have likewise ridiculed generals, saying the military was riddled with nepotism and that senior officers should be stripped of their ranks and sent to the front barefoot to atone for their sins.
Point to the tower, just like last time over.